Welcome to Update 2, my Planet Coaster friends. Update 2 has been installed. This is a nice little feature when you boot up the game. It actually tells you that there's been an update and gives you a little TLDR of what that update brings. And we get the ride synchronization, which means you can make dueling coasters now, and dueling rides, of course. Coaster cars are able to be switched between coasters, which means you can maybe add like a winged launch coaster to a regular corkscrew, or vice versa, add a junior train to what was supposed to be a winged coaster, just like you could in Planet Coaster 1. I don't know how vast that is, how many options there are, but it was pretty diverse in Planet Coaster 1. You'll also find the standard D-themed variants of the winged chairlift and the junior coaster, as well as coaster attachments from these rides are now available in the scenery tab. Update 2 also offers video, billboards, and marks the return of Pathos 3 classic flat ride that will make your guests' head spin. Yippee-yallipper. Yippee-yallipper? I don't know what that is. Anyways, I wanted to dive in and show you this. I just wanted to bring that up because once I close it, it'll never show up again. I was going to hop in and test a few things, but I figure we could just do it live. So let's do that. So one of the things they mentioned in the patch notes, and I will bring that up in a second, is these notification settings. You should be able to just, well, they all are off, but yet I still get them. And one of the issues was, it was when you want to disable this category and you would leave the game and come back, it would uncheck these boxes all again. And even though I have it turned off, disable this category, dismiss all. So now they're officially turned off. And this has been really annoying for spotlights, obviously, because these notifications are going off in all of my videos. You guys don't really notice it because I put a lot of like audio and stuff in the background, or I try to talk a lot. So it's me just trying to, talk over that. But it's going off constantly. So now if I save my park and reload it, where'd it go? Here it is. Let's see. Look at that. We're in the park and all the notifications are still muted and I'm not getting spammed. That's huge. Okay, so let's hop over to this. If you guys want to read the patch notes for yourself, I'll have a link to this page here down in the description below. But we're going to read it together, and we're also going to kind of check out some of the features as we go through it. But the biggest thing I want to highlight here today is this isn't just like a content update. Yes, there's new content, there's new features, there's new quality of life improvements, but I think the most important thing that most people are going to overlook, that to me, this is one of the first milestones in Planet Coaster 2 that I would say kind of fixes the game. Or tries to. There's been many times in the past here where I'm playing Planet Coaster, run into an issue. Playing Planet Coaster, run into an issue. How many times in a week do I say, come on, fix this game? Frontier, fix your game. I feel like that's a running thing because I constantly run into bugs. With that being said, I need you guys to see this. Bug fixes. So if we look at the new content, right? It's all of this, all right? Now let's look at how much has been fixed. Audio, career mode, coasters and rides, guests, localization, online, park construction, sandbox, staff, UI, workshop, stability, and miscellaneous. Look at all of that, you guys. This is almost like an apology letter from Frontier in some ways, in the nicest way possible, masked by the fact that there's new features, right? It's like, yes, all this stuff needed to get fixed, but how can we advertise this as like a new content, a free update, right? And it just goes to show how many, I myself had issues with the games, the community, everybody's points are valid. Everybody is right. But the biggest thing to take away is that Planet Coaster 2 has been a fun experience and people have been having fun and creating amazing things. I still stand by this game and that it's an amazing game, and that's why I've been making content on it. I make content on games I believe in. Heck, I even made content on Park Beyond and believed in that, but that was a boy who cried wolf situation where it's going to get fixed, it's going to get fixed, it's going to get fixed, and it never did. did. So that's why I eventually gave up on the game. And I still think to this day, it's probably not fixed because I've checked up on it every few months. Anyways, with that being said, I've always had faith in Frontier's ability to fix this game because I do believe that they are pressured to release this game a little bit earlier. So now this is kind of all the stuff that should have been on day one fixed, and there's still going to be a lot more. There's still going to be a lot more. I skimmed through most of this stuff here, and there's still things that I'm going like, what about this? What about that? What about this? Like, you didn't address that. Like, you know, there's so many things in the top of my head that I, you know, run into on a daily basis that I didn't quite see get addressed in here. So obviously it still has a way to go, but I believe, you know, if you look at their dev tracker, their issue tracker, a lot of issues are being reported and they have limited resources and they have to try to prioritize which are the things that they're going to tackle and fix first while simultaneously developing the features and DLCs and content packs that people would be most anticipating. So, I mean, it's not easy developing games, right? Anyways, with that being said, let's dive into this and then we'll point out some of the bugs and go through some of that stuff as well. Hey, park managers, we're thrilled to be launching our second major update for Planet Coaster 2. Kicking off our spring roadmap, Update 2 brings a variety of features to give you even more creativity and flexibility in your parks. Include ride synchronization, interchangeable coaster cars, video billboards, and custom speakers. Additionally, we have 2 new D-themed standard versions of coasters ready for you to customize. A Dizzy Return flat ride, which will rebuilt from the original Planet Coaster, a coaster customizations, as well as enhancements to guest navigation UI, notifications, and more. Please read below for the full breakdown. So, video billboards. We're gonna have to jump into game and check this out. Advertise your Planet Coaster 2 shops video billboards. Billboards are available in a variety of shapes and sizes to fit this aesthetic of your park, all which can be scaled. Wow, that's really, really good. PC only. Import your web video files and add them to new existing billboard. Okay, we're gonna have to see how this works. I know with Planet Coaster 1, you put it in your custom media folder, and I don't know how that works here, but there's still going to be a way that console players can do custom audio, and I want to point that out. It's like you guys haven't been completely left out because Planet Coaster has the collaboration feature. So what you could do is you could send it over to a PC player and say, hey, could you add custom media and custom audio to my rides, link it all up, create a folder, create a custom media folder, and then have that custom media folder link, you know, sent to Johnny or whatever, right? So it's still going to be possible. The downside is the Frontier Workshop doesn't, like, you can do a description, but if you update that description, it gets deleted. And they do have an insane amount of profanity filters. Like, if you, we ran into one the other day where just 4N is a profanity filter because it's foreign, and I guess foreign is a bad word. I don't know. It's really weird. Like, some people can't even get their names in. So when we have a custom media link on our Frontier Workshop that we want people to click to download from a Google Drive or whatever, there's a chance that the random letter the number generated is going to have an ASS or a 4N or a, oh geez, the list goes on, right? And most likely those links will all have stars in them and not work. So I don't know what to say. I don't know how we're going to be able to promote these things unless we can upload it with the song. That's something we're going to have to test. That would be huge, where it uploads the MP3 or the WAV file with the blueprint. So let's go check this out. All right, so I just typed in billboard. That was my assumption. And 16 meter lit, 32 meter lit, 4 meter. Let's just start plopping some of these down. So there is the lit and curved. So let's just take a look at these two and they're curved. That's cool. Let's just change the image to something. Sure. Whoops. Confirm. And I think that was a video file because it has a little play button. And then if I just put it on loop, why is it not playing? Oh, I got it on pause. So that is lit and that is unlit. And then we go to nighttime. Okay. So the unlit one is very flat and washed out in the daytime as well as the nighttime, where the lit one, it looks great all the time, always. So I would say, like, why would you ever use the unlit screen? Because it looks horrendous at daytime. It's absorbing the light. So whatever lights you have around. So I guess the one use that I could see this being kind of good for is if you had scenery built around this and you just wanted to have something kind of incognito blending in to the environment, like a little face or something, or a little character, and you didn't want it to be so neon and stand out. So I think this will work at night in certain regards, but at daytime it's almost completely washed out because of that sunlight. It's absorbing the light around it. But this looks really crisp and clear. Absolutely. We'll have to see performance-wise too, how this all impacts the game. So these are like the different sizes. I think I'm just gonna put down a bunch of lit ones because we don't really need to compare lit and unlit. So we have the basic flat screens, huge flat screens. Look at all these different sizes. Then we have the TV screens. They're like LCD TVs or whatever. This is new. We've never had round screens in Planet Coaster 1, I don't think. I remember we had parabolic screens, but that's actually really sick because you could just put a picture of a moon on that and have that up in the sky, right? And now it's like a moon. It's a cutout moon, or you could make a black hole, or you could do something spirally and make it twist and turn. That's actually kind of sick, to be honest. I really like that. And there's some tiny ones, square, perfect square ones, different sizes and that sort of thing. And then we have the video rectangles of all different sizes. They go really small. And now if we can get a statue, here we go. So this is kind of like the scale reference, right? So if we look at our big screen here, here's like a person. I think that's about the size of a person, right? One of these statues, just for reference. In fact, that might be a little bit bigger, but whatever. You get the idea. And then we scale this up. How big? I know everything in this game has a different scale capacity. Oh my heavens. What? 300%? Oh my God. Look at the person in the bottom left. That was its original size. That's its scaled up size. And that is a person. So for any of those people wanting to do like a show with fireworks and a band and music, I don't know what the max size image you can put on one of these is, but if you could do a 4K image, that'd be sick. So how would I get a custom image? Let's try this. Okay, so you go to Documents, Frontier Developments, Planet Coaster 2 User Media. It's the exact same as before. Let me try it. So I just found a random video that was from Planet Coaster 1, from a recent Planet Coaster 1 video I spotlit from the Bitter Elegance. It's an MP4. Oh, this is not a, wait, that's a custom image. What about a video? Wait, user media. It has to be a WebM file, which I do not have here. Let me see if I can find one. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's quite nice too, and it puts it in like that. So this is from Cosmosis World. Obviously it doesn't fit this size because it was intended for a different screen, but I did want to just test it, and it is working. It's scaled up so large. Now I'm gonna have to, does it say here in the document what the maximum size is? I don't think there is a maximum size. I'd be really interested in making like a 4K WebM file and seeing if it takes it. That's just gonna be something I have to try later on. I don't really have a use case for that, but I know somebody will. But it is working. That's the important part. It's working, and apparently it also lets you connect speakers to it. So that's cool. Let's try the speakers. I'm assuming it's just called speaker. So there's different types of speakers. I think we're gonna do Park Show because it's, oh, you can't scale these ones. Oh, these look awesome though. Why can't I scale it? We're gonna delete these guys. Change track custom. Let's go get a song here. Okay, hit refresh. Cosmic Dance, there it is. Ooh, let's get the volume up. Wait, my volume's at 100%. This is 100%? That's awful. That's really bad. Just an FYI, when my music, most games I play I play at 30% volume. I've had this issue with Planet Coaster where if I'm at 100%, it's blowing out my eardrums on my sound settings. This is at 100%. It should be blowing out my eardrums. It should be louder than me. It's awful. Although I may have just, let me go into my sound settings. I may have adjusted it. Let me just double check. Crowd volume, I've turned that down. Sound effects, I've turned that down. Voice volume's at 100. Park music's at 100. Soundtrack's at 100. So everything's at 100, except for sound effects. So unless this counts as a sound effect, let's apply it and try. Oh, I just heard the ambience go up. I think it's louder. This is a sound effect. That's also not great. This should be counting as a soundtrack in the sound settings. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, so none of the speakers are scalable. So they didn't add new speakers in. They just made them customizable. Oh, did you hear that? Check this out. It's consistent. If you spread them out good enough, you should just hear the music everywhere without volume changes. That's really good. So there's gonna be some science behind this. You're gonna have to figure out like what the distance that is. Like, let's just kind of try it, I guess. Put one over here. At which point does the music start to fade off? About here. Wait, am I hearing that? There is a bit of a drop and an increase. So they need to be a little bit closer than that. So if you want consistent volume, you're gonna have to space them out like that much, which is pretty close together, honestly. But if you're hiding them in the ground, you can just have this and then select them all and then create a grid system and then drop them all underground. And now you have music everywhere. Yeah, that works. You just have that underneath your pathing system. Very cool. We have custom audio. Let's go. Shout out to Crazy Girl for making this song. Awesome. And we have custom images. So obviously everybody's been waiting for this. It's going to revolutionize how people play Planet Coaster. It's going to make the spotlights crazier. It's going to do a lot for the game and for the content. I believe this was a feature that didn't launch with Planet Coaster 1 as well, and it came later. So when Planet Coaster 2 didn't have this, people were up in arms, but it was like, hey, Planet Coaster 1 also didn't have this. So it's kind of, but it feels like, you know, you're taking away my fun toy. And now that I've turned the sound up, all I hear is this wave rustling, windy bushes. I hate that. So in order for me to hear the sound properly, I have to have the sound effects up, but then the sound effects themselves are really loud. So I don't like how the music's tied to the sound effects. That is just clearly not okay, because I want to turn the sound effects down so that I can hear the music, not turn the sound effects down and turn the music down simultaneously. So this should be in the audio track, not the sound effect track. But I guess you could put sound effects on speakers. So that is the logic there. There should be a separate option for that. Okay, well, anyways, this video is going forever. Let's keep on keeping on. Now I just hear bristling bushes while I'm doing this review. I'm gonna turn the volume back down. Oh my god. All right, ride synchronization, time multiple roller coasters, powered track rides, flumes, or set off at the same time with ride synchronization. When they say flumes, do they mean log flumes or actual flumes? It says flumes or slides. Okay, perfect. All right, let's try it. Now, what I'm actually kind of curious about is, we're just gonna do this the lazy way. I'm just gonna grab a pre-made coaster from Frontier and another one and see if I can synchronize them like this. They may have to be touching. We'll have to see. Let's see here. Add ride sync, select the other one, confirm. Okay, that was easy. That was easy, 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 easy. They should leave at the exact same time. Beautiful. That was ridiculously easy. I believe in Planet Coaster 1, it was a little bit more challenging. And what's even better about this, check this out. Let's do a, I don't know, a log flume. Let's do a flume and another flume and a track ride. Wait, what? Where's my track rides? Is there no custom track rides made by Frontier? Whatever, that's good enough. So now we go into, I didn't even know how I did that. It was so easy, I forgot. Synchronize ride under the cogwheel, edit ride sync, and now we just select it all and hit confirm. It can sync up to 8? Yo, really? Hold the phone. Why is that one testing? Okay, now we're gonna put them all into test mode, even the little baby flume. All right, now they all should leave at the same time, and they do. The log, the flume, the Flume Flume, the 2 coasters. Wild. I don't remember. I think there was a limit of like 3 or 4 in Planet Coaster 1, if I'm not mistaken. Being able to go up to 8 is actually kind of wild because it also goes beyond the blueprint limit of 5. So it would only be possible to have 8 dueling coasters in a park file. Couldn't make it into a blueprint. But shout out to the Riddler Revenges out there. You can do an 8 synchronized coaster. Oh my heavens. Imagine that thumbnail. 8 coaster lifts. Oh, wow. Okay. But the most useful thing is that I think we're going to see a lot of people do is they're going to have like random non-functional coasters within the group so that when you're at a certain point on a coaster, it triggers this train to go by and the train just goes by and crashes, right? Or a coaster falls from the sky, or, you know, there's a number of different things that you could do with it that are set to just happen at a certain time. You know that the coaster is going to get here at the 10-second mark. So underground, you have a coaster leaving with this one at the same time, and it takes about 10 seconds before the train gets here and comes flying through a wall or a cave or whatever and passes by. Very, very cool. This is great. This is good. Good update. Again, just want to make a point. Dual synchronized coasters did not release with Planet Coaster 1 either. It took a while for that to happen. It's just a little bit strange to me, and I will make the counter argument. I will play devil's advocate here, that the tech for dual coasters and billboards kind of existed already, right? So it's like, why didn't it come with Planet Coaster 2? And I can see a lot of people's like skepticism and like that, you know, you took my toy away kind of thing. But then again, to reverse that, this is actually new and improved. It's scalable. That tech did not exist before. The sizes, the curved screens, the round screens, those things did not exist before. And I think not only could you not do up to 8 in the past, it wasn't this easy where you just go edit, select. Like, that is sick. Like, the fact that I can just add more and select and done, it's so sick. They don't have to be adjacent to each other. They don't have to be touching platforms, none of that stuff. I can literally dual synchronize this coaster with, you know, this flume over here. Boom, done, confirm. And now this will leave at the same time as that one over there, which opens up a lot of possibilities. So this is not just copy pasted tech from Planet Coaster 1. It's new and improved, and thus required it to take some time to get out. But again, I think the game was released a little too early. These were probably intended to be something to release on day 1, but they're here. It's only February now, so didn't take too long. I'm happy. I'm not mad at it. All right, let's keep keeping on. All right, next up is interchangeable coaster cars on selected coasters. You can now swap the coaster car type for certain roller coasters via customize tab on the coaster. To use this feature, ensure you turned it on in the game options menu. Okay, so settings, what would it be under? I don't even know what these buttons are. It'd help if there were words. Allow more interchangeable cars on. Coasters going off track during editing on, in case someone wants to shoot a coaster off. Averaged orientation in advanced move makes the advanced move rotate widget use the average orientation and position of the selected pieces. This can be useful when objects are aligned and rotated in the same direction as each other. But wouldn't that maybe use the bounding box alignment style by default when placing multiple items. Bounding box alignment style. Actually, I don't know if I want these. Apply. All right, we've turned it on. Do we have any customizable stuff for our wooden coaster? Isn't this the customize tab? It certainly is. Well, they did say certain coasters, so let's try a different one. What I'm actually curious about is the junior. All right, customize. There we go, car type. So this is the regular one, and this is the new one. Ooh, cute. All right. Somebody turn this into the Wendigo. Let's bring back our friendly caterpillar. Let's go. So yeah, you can switch the coaster type depending on the actual coaster train itself. I don't know how diverse this is going to be, but depending on what you're actually building will determine your options. So whenever you build a coaster, just go look. Is there a coaster type that you prefer? You know, get a little creative with it. Can you, let's see the mine train coaster. Mine, mountain descent, We'll do the swinging mine train because they did say that this is also fixed. So let's see what we have here. Oh, wow. Yeah, so this is what I was looking for. So basically, like, if you want to have wooden supports and wooden planks on the aesthetic of your coaster, you can go ahead and build a wooden mine train coaster. But then you can have it as a stand-up coaster. You can have it as a single rail. You can, you know, whatever you want, you can change the train. And you probably even could change it into the other mine train as well. So that's pretty cool. That's awesome. But we want the swaying mine train, and we're going to throw this in a test since we're here, because they said the camera view is fixed and now the mine train should swing. I think I saw a sway there. Let's see. It should swing. I mean, this is... Okay, it's swinging. We can see it's swinging. Yes, indeed, it's swinging. All right. Now we got to go back and review Boogie's coaster again. Oh my goodness. Now, there were other issues. When I went to other views, they were completely borked. It's working. This one was like in the ground and across the map before. All right, all coaster views on this work. Actually curious because we are running a flume contest right now. If we go into the flume view, are these fixed? Look forward is still up in the sky. Chase view is still up in the sky. Orbit is still up in the sky, and guest facing is still completely barked. Okay, so all of the flume cameras still are broken since the last update, and we have a flume contest going. Luckily, we could grab the person and view it from there, but it's been crap. So the way that this should work, if anyone's wondering, is the camera should be right in front of the guest, not up in the sky in this weird forward position. Winged is working fine, actually. Front bumper is fine, but look forward is also not working properly. We should be over the shoulder of the guy or just above their head, looking forward. And chase view, we should be behind it, like down here, not up in the sky like this. Like, I can't even see it. I should be looking forward at the thing in front of me, not above it, because I can't even see the flume from up here. Chase view, just to do a direct correlation to the actual coaster, if you're curious, is this. That's how it should be on the flume, chasing the flume rider. Anyways, so flumes are still broken, and maybe that'll get fixed with the flume update next month, possibly. All right, let's keep on keeping on. Standard D-themed coasters. We kind of just looked at this. Basically, there's like a new Junior, but there's also a Zephyr and a couple others, Wing Coaster. So some of them have new default coasters. Additionally, the Dragon and Wing piece from the coasters are now available to use as scenery items. It can be added to a plethora of rides and structures. Let's see if we can find it by just typing in Dragon. Yep, there it is. So they took the pieces off the coaster and let you build with them. That's actually pretty cool. Not a bad idea. It's, you know, utilizing an asset that you made and just separating it from the ride itself and then giving it to us as a buildable piece, which is also scalable. Woo! So now you can have a dragon head. Awesome. Little VTs. All right. The Pathos 3. Let's check that out. This guy. Okay, I remember this. Yep, there it is. It does the thing, it spins and it rotates. There you go. Pathos 3 is back in the game. I don't think this was one that people used a lot, but I guess with the attachable scenery points, somebody will come up with something interesting with this, right? It's a claw. It could be a lot of things, can't it? Interesting. Okay. All right, we've already shown the notification toggle thing right out of the rip in the top of the video. Yep. That's all fine. Additional park information categories now show up. Finances, guests, rides, staff, water parks. Let's check that out. Are these them at the top? Park rating, guests, attractions and shops. Because what I remember so I don't know about you guys, but I don't like remember the hotkey to get to attractions. So I always click this button in the bottom left and it brings me up to here and then I'd have to go escape. Then I would get to these options. But from the looks of it, they're right here at the top, and I think that's what they mean. So rather than having to go back, attractions and shops, then go back, and then go to park rating, and then go back, now I can access all of them through the top menu. In fact, it's kind of redundant to have this screen at all, because this information displayed here on the blue area isn't really useful to us when we can see that here, and all these other tabs are here. So this is just optimization. This is just better, for sure. Okay, well, that's what it looks like. All right, navigation. Enhanced guest navigation behaviors around the park. Guests are now less likely to stick to a single route and cause congestion. View on issue tracker. Guests no longer use, and this is huge because I've seen so many congestion problems in parks and even the flume contest. Guests are no longer use ride entrance as a wander point. Yeah, so we've seen this where it's like, oh, here they come, here they come, here they come, and then they turn around. So they had no intention to go on the ride, but then when they got to the end, they realized that's not something they want to go on, and it was basically a wander point. They were just wandering down a queue, wandering to a attraction, and there was no actual intention from the guests to go on it. Now they'll just not start walking down that path. So the people walking down a path towards a ride are now going to be the ones who intend on going on the ride, which is great. Reduced changing room congestion. If you watched my video, or I'll just show it. This is what congestion looks like from the Duel Tiki Bad episode. Yeah, this is what changing rooms do in Planet Coaster. And it's kind of a problem in the flume contest as well. So this will be less of an issue. That's good. So the guest groups will now use the changing rooms at the same time rather than one by one. Oh, so they all just yeet inside. That's a fun fix, I guess. Path and tool pool tools added a preview which shows the path or pool's style choice when using the tool. Multi-select tool. Okay, this is huge. Chat was freaking out and sending me messages about this. But this in particular, the PC only option, don't feel left out console, because this is what we felt left out on. The multi-select tool can now be accessed by clicking and dragging with your park without needing to be multi-select mode, and no longer requires confirmation once you made the selection. Let's show that. So basically what this means is I can now just left click and drag. That's multi-select. I don't actually have to hit the I button to bring up the multi-select the tool anymore. I can just select stuff. Easy peasy, just grab things. So that's great. But then when you did this before, you would have to go to the top right corner and hit confirm. And the reason this isn't an update on consoles, and it is an update on PC, is because console players, they also have to move and drive and push buttons. So when they're moving their controller around, they might accidentally select more stuff, and that's why they have a confirmation button. So I know this was a complaint like right away from me and many other players of Planet Coaster 2. It was right away, it felt like clunky and very console-y. And that's basically the main feature that was causing that. It's like, why can't I just select things and then move them, you know, like do stuff with them? Like, why am I having to go into a menu and then do a thing and then hit a confirmation button just to do this thing that's like so easy to do? And it's because there's all these extra steps that they have to kind of put in so console players don't accidentally keep screwing up their selections and stuff. So this is a huge update for PC players, but with that, they said there's the multi-select option. So when I bring this up, there should be ads, there's these filters. These filters are all new. So what it's really cool about this is if I turn paths off, grab this and move it, look at that. It selected everything except for my paths and my pool. Why did it not grab my pool? I guess my pool is attached to paths. But yes, pools are selected on. So I don't know why it didn't grab my pool. Oh, it did grab my pool. I just haven't confirmed the movement. Ah, there we go. Okay, yeah, look at that. That's insane. So if you just wanted to select, I don't know, paths, you could turn everything off except for, oh wait, how did I do that? Oh, all filters. Turn everything off and then just use the paths. And now I could just select everything. Oh no, it's paths and pool extras. Oh, we could just do paths. Here we go. Perfect. So yeah, I can just move my paths. Look at that. So if there's something you're trying to get at that you don't want to select other things, the multi-select tool now has refinement options. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So we already went through the custom audio speakers. Based on player feedback, adjusted the volume of the rides being too loud. Yeah, I've talked about this. Like everything's either too loud or too quiet or like inconsistent. I've had to turn my sound effects down, which also turns down music apparently, which we just discovered, which in my opinion is still as a bug. Yeah, they adjusted a lot of the volumes of the crowds, the coasters, and proximities. That's what this is saying. Changed the way brake sounds are triggered on coasters for added realism. Did notice they sounded a little strange in this game. park music will stand out more against rides, coasters, and guests in mixed audio. So I guess when there's a lot of sound happening, the music will stand out the most, which is good because that's why I was turning down the sound effects so I could hear the music. But apparently turning down the sound effects turns down the music, so I don't know what to do anymore. Added sounds for changing rooms and toilets to indicate when they need to be clean. Gross. Added a context-based notification sound to make the notification more identifiable. Added rider reaction sounds when a coaster re-enters the station. Okay, that's cool. Increased echo for coasters and rides in tunnels and enclosed places. That's sick. Increased realism of audio on these two coasters, wave coasters. Okay, so that's it. That's the updates. I've showed you guys the updates. I've showed you what's new. I've tested it all in game myself, and it's all great. It was a good experience for me, and I have no qualms with any of it other than the fact that, yeah, and I have no qualms with it at all. Everything was good. So bug fixes. This is where I do have issues, and I have to say it right now that, like, I was a QA tester for games at one point in my career, and I was the #1 bug fixer on every single team at EA Games. I mean, you put me on a team and I would find the most bugs within the first week. I was the bug master, you know? Like, it's why I did very well in that career. So with that being said, you think I would do a better job at reporting issues for Frontier's issue tracker? I'm finding bugs in all my videos and I'm not reporting them. And, you know, I feel kind of bad about that, right? But at the same time, I kind of feel like that's a second job, and making content full-time is a lot of work, and reporting all the issues that I find, typing them out, filing the bug trackers, getting clips from my videos, and providing to that would be a second job. I would love if Frontier hired me. So I'll give them that. Like, I don't know what to say. All they have to do is watch my videos and they'll get their bugs. Like, their QA team, just watch my video, you'll find a bug in video, and I point it out almost every single video. But yeah, maybe I could do a better job at reporting issues going forward. So maybe that's what I'll consider doing, just to be a nice guy, because there are things that are bugging me, and rather than just kind of, you know, harping on it, just report it. Right? The problem is with the issue tracker, they're like, kind of like, please read through all the reported issues before filing this bug in case someone else has already reported it. You don't want to file the same bug twice, da 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 da. And, you know, I could spend 20, 30 hours a week doing that, just reporting issues and checking issues and that sort of thing. And I'm not exactly on their QA team. So I feel like my videos do a pretty good job at providing them with a resource to finding the issues for their games, and whether or not they choose to use that resource is up to them. But I'm more than willing to work part-time as a QA tester for Frontier if they want to pay me. Sure. But yes, out of the kindness of my heart, going forward, I'll make notes when I find a bug in a video. We'll pause the recording, we'll go make a note, and we'll file it later. But we'll do it for the select ones, because literally, guys, like I said, a lot of things that you guys might not think is that bad or that noticeable is actually a bug. If I sat down and played Planet Coaster and did one video, I could probably find 100 bugs in, give me 3-4 hours. And filing those would take me 8 to 12 hours, if not longer. And then there would be no videos on this channel anymore. I would just be reporting bugs full time. So that aside, I'll try to report the big ones when I see them going forward. I mean, the flume ones are definitely egregious, so I think I'm gonna go report those. It's been driving me absolutely nuts and that sort of thing. So you guys can pause and read some of these. You know, I want to just highlight a few that, you know, that I really like. Rider screams on coasters are now affected by the crowd volume slider. I would have assumed that's how it should have been. Underwater sounds are now controlled by the sound effects slider. See, this is what I had a problem with. I had sound effects down because the coaster sounds were too loud. I couldn't hear the park volume. And then if the sound effects are also considered sound effects, and also the coaster is considered sound effects, and also the music is considered sound effects, and also the underwater sounds are considered sound effects, then there's no way for me to balance it the way I would like it to be. They need to have sound effects section and then go underwater, coaster sounds, guest crowd volume, subset of options to control. Simple. Career mode, I'm not really too concerned about this. I know people have had issues with career mode, so, you can pause it and read it. I don't think this is very relevant to most people that play the game. It's a very niche audience, but, they're fixing issues with some of the scenario levels. Have a pause, read through it if you're playing career mode, a particular level. You might be able to see like, oh, the brothers swim level or whatever. Labyrinths and secrets. Sure thing. Remove notifications. Done. All right. Franchise mode, I've never played this. I don't even know what it is. Customized players tags now consistently appear on park details on the franchise mode screen. Resolved inconsistent translations. Okay, resolved instances where some Xbox players were unable to log into their account. Ooh. Okay, coasters and rides. And this is kind of where we saw a lot, like I showed the views. The views were fixed on the swaying mine train coaster, on the look forward, the guest facing, the pitch. All of those things were fixed, which we just looked at in game. Coaster support beams with the custom floorless coaster no longer clip through each other. Remove the incorrect paint chip texture on the LIM launch coaster. So these are just a whole bunch of fixes for the cameras, the supports, the textures, the opening states, visuals, flickering, twinning behaviors, resolved in incorrect scenery twinning behavior for tracked rides, which is funny because that was added in the last update, so they didn't test the twinning feature, which was the whole reason to add it in the first place. Oh my goodness. Resolved instances where cable cars, drive wheels, and car speeds would become out of sync. So, I mean, there's a lot here. It's absolutely insane. So basically every single coaster had an issue, whether it was from the camera view or the, just any of the coaster things, friction wheels, like any of the pieces and mechanics, they all had something wrong with them, and this is resolving a lot of those issues. So you can have a pause through here. I'm gonna just try to skim through here and point out ones that I'm particularly interested in. Do guests no longer leave rides in min-max wait times? Oh, here's some flume ones. Corrected speed inconsistencies between Big Bowl and Big Bowl enclosed flume pieces. Resolved a juddery animation when guests would enter into the orb flume piece. Resolved rubber banding issue when placing flumes and pieces of scenery objects. And resolved extreme camera shaking when crossing special track pieces. Oh, that's a coaster. So anyways, yeah, so that's going to be kind of helpful for the flume contest right now. So when we go into the big bowls and stuff and the orb flume pieces, that will look better. Coasters with stations that can be as short as 8 meter long can now have both the entrance and the exits on the same side. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was not possible before. Just gaps in flume platforms. Flume ride camera can now use flume terms instead of coasters. There was a couple that I put to chat because there's so much here. I had some on another screen that I sent to chat that I particularly liked. Yeah, I don't know where it was here. It said resolved an issue, instances where guests would ignore flume platforms being reshaped until the attached flume has been closed and reopened. Remember, there was some times in videos where I go, why do I have to close and reopen this flume? It's because the creator reshaped the platform. So anyone who reshaped the platform would then have to close and reopen their flume, and if they did not, the flume just didn't work and people would not go on it. So that's one that guests no longer use invisible smartphones during adult animations. I've seen that. Oh, there it is. Resolved instances. That's the one I just mentioned. Guests no longer state preferences for rides and content that they currently not owned by the player. So basically, like, a guest will come in and be like, I want to go on a Giga Coaster, even though you don't have one in your park. So now they're upset. That's hilarious. Guests no longer select staff facilities buildings as their destination. Oh my god, that's a face palm. That was happening. The worst part about it is most people use staff paths to go to the staff buildings. Staff paths are designed so guests are not allowed to walk down them. So therefore, guests are programmed to want to go to the staff building for some reason, but they can't traverse down a path that lets them get there. So that's probably issues where we see guests wandering around aimlessly because they're trying to find a destination, which is a staff building, which is a path that doesn't let them get there, which is probably why we see conglomerations around areas where staff paths are. So that's crazy. That is crazy. Corrected child guest thoughts on park entry and ride ticket booths being too expensive. I know there's some issues with things being too expensive where guests will just turn away even though they're not expensive. So hopefully we'll just see better throughput on rides overall. Guests will no longer become stuck in panic, struck by an object state after being struck by another guest on a flume. Oh my god. Yeah, there's been a lot of like people getting trapped and then teleporting back to the entrance on flumes. Guests now get changed before leaving the park. Oh good, it's good that they're not leaving the park in their underwear anymore. Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't even think like that was a bug, but I guess it is. That's funny. It's just like it's a missing quality of life thing. Guests now react to the firework comet scenery piece. Wait, is it just one firework that they weren't reacting to? Guests can now be removed from the park via the kick guest option in the info panel. That should be kind of like a quality of life, not a bug fix. It's like a new feature, right? Added missing ripple effects from adults and teens when they're wading through the water. Interesting. Localization, this is literally just it's localization. It's language and typos and fixing words and for Korean, Japanese, Brazilian, and all that stuff. So yeah, don't really need to go over that. Online, resolve cases where input would sometimes freeze when attempting to select own DLC content in collaborative sandbox parks. Ugh. Resolve some crashes. Collaborative sandbox now present the option to rename a park when copying it. This is huge. Recently been getting my sister to help me stage coaster spotlights as well as this contest, placing them down, setting them up, and then she would go to the collaboration menu and share them with me. That's how I would get them. However, I've seen this from other people too. When you make a collaboration, it takes your game save and deletes it. And then when everybody leaves the collaboration, it deletes it and your work is forever gone. And we've seen somebody actually lose work by doing this. So whenever you go to collaborate and it presents the option to rename a park, do so so that you have a backup and now you're collaborating on the copy. I was getting my sister to save 2 versions of everything she did and then upload one of those two to share with me. So that's huge. Park construction. Blueprints containing moving scenery pieces will no longer be missing. Oof. So people, oh wow, that's bad. Resolve cases when deactivating rotating scenery items saved to blueprints would continue to spin despite the label being deactivated. So hopefully we don't have to do the like place blueprint, undo, redo thing anymore. Hopefully this like resolves some of that. Resolve the case where setting a ride to testing would alter the price of the tickets. The camera will no longer zoom out to view a whole scenery group when a single piece is selected. I had this issue where I was like, I had a piece selected, I wanted to zoom out and it popped me out. And I realized it doesn't do it when I don't select a piece. So I deselect pieces just before I zoomed out and it was super annoying. Now don't have to worry about that. I can zoom out with a piece selected and it's not gonna pop me out to look at the entire group anymore. Resolve cases where closed pools would open when you connect a path. That's good. It's probably why all the closed, when in the contest, we have people setting pools to close, but when I place them, it opens them. It's probably because it's attaching a path to the pool. So therefore, you can now save closed pools in your blueprints because when you place it and it connects the path to the pool, it should no longer open it. So I think that alone resolves the issue of the blueprints not saving closed pools. So that's good. Color selections are now retained when building scenery pieces, but does this actually work when I reload my park? Let's try this. So, I'm building some stuff over here, right? And I got all these like beautiful pink colors. I like these colors. Like I want to, see they're not saved. So like when I want to recolor something to one of these colors, I have to like go copy the ID and then hit confirm. And then like, there it is. And then, oh God, I've made this scene so messy. I do not want to save this. Let me load my park. Well, I guess this test works in and of itself. Even though I didn't reload the park, it should, yes, it does remember the last color I used, even though I didn't save the park or whatever. But like, I don't know about rebooting the entire game. That was my issue, is like, I'm working on this thing, I'm doing my thing, and then like I leave the game and I come back to it later and all of my colors are gone. And it's like, I'm using those colors constantly. Like every time I boot up the game, I gotta like recolor pick all 10 colors that I'm working with or whatever. And it was super annoying. So that's like a massive, massive quality of life fix for sure. Fix an issue where scenery rating of track rides were unaffected by nearby scenery. So many times I've been like, why is the scenery rating 0? I like looking at the scenery rating when we're on coasters and rides because I kind of want to like, I would like to have that to be some sort of friendly competition. Some of them I've seen go up to like 30, 40,000 scenery ratings. And one day we're gonna have somebody that does like a 200,000 scenery rating on a coaster. And I think that could be a fun requirement for like a coaster contest. Right? You have to have a minimum scenery rating of 30,000 for me to even showcase your coaster. So that's cool that they fixed that. The custom scenery brush names now save correctly. Duplicated scenery pieces now retain the trigger timings of the original piece. That's great. So you can now duplicate your triggers, your sequencers, and all that stuff. Really good. Enhance the visibility of VFX in dark and poorly lit areas. Adjusted the misaligned lighting direction of the resort ceiling lamp. I actually seen somebody post this on Discord. They're like, I have to put my light upside down. Oh, that is hilarious. Placeable water VFX now have a color picking functionality. That seems like a feature, not a bug. So when I place a water VFX, I can make them blue, pink, whatever. That's really cool. Added a color picking functionality to Tuk Tuk Flatbed scenery piece. So yeah, these are just like features. They're not really bugs, but I guess they're like, oh, this should have been in there. Flumes will now contribute to the pool prestige for smaller pools within sandbox and career scenarios. Cool. Fresh sandbox no longer have large gatherings of guests outside the entrance gates. Lifeguards assigned to work zones no longer become stuck looking for work. Ride attendants can now be assigned to rides in career mode. My God. Ride attendants will now remain at their assigned ride whilst in test mode. Oh wait, I was hoping it would say forever and ever in sandbox mode, because we have an issue where like I load up a new park and all the ride attendants just leave their post, even though we're in sandbox and we have that feature disabled where ride attendants will not take breaks, but they all just leave their post, and it's super annoying. So resolve cases where removing all the staff members' work blocks prevented new ones from being added. Resolve cases where soft lock sometimes occurred when editing. There's nothing here that fixes the staff going on breaks when they should not be in sandbox mode. A lot of UI fixes. I'll let you guys pause it and take a look at this. Yeah, there's a look at it all. Just a lot of error corrections in how things are spelled, where things are located, how things are functioning in the UI panels. So some small quality of life tweaks, that sort of thing. The last updated field in the workshop now accurately displays the date and content was modified. The workshop now accepts share codes with delimited characters, hyphens, and full stops. Okay, so I was always removing the hyphens from people's share codes because they just didn't work, and now they will. So that's good. However, the biggest thing that they need to fix here is when you update your blueprint, the share code breaks. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the YouTube comments, share code does not work. And it's because somebody updated their blueprint or whatever, the share code just gets lost. Even though the share code did not change, the share code is still there. If you go to the creation and you take the share code straight from the workshop page, and then you go into game and you paste it, it says the creation cannot be found. So therefore the share code is just busted. So your number one feature on the Frontier Workshop is share codes. You went with a share code system, and yet 50% of all share codes on the workshop right now are completely busted and do not exist. That is like the highest priority bug that you should be fixing in like the entire game, because you have this whole thing that's built around, this game is built around communities and sharing your creations with the communities. Meanwhile, everybody's creations are lost. It's like literally highest priority bug. All right. That's pretty much it, guys. Glad to see them fixing the game. If you are on the fence about Planet Coaster 2 so far, and you saw the videos, the rage bait videos out there on how broken and buggy the game is, this is one step closer to it being proper, functioning, and great. And I have to back Frontier up and say, I knew this was coming. Like, I had faith. This isn't Park Beyond, you know, where there were so many issues and it was so messy that like it's just not possible to get to a playable state. The game launched in a playable state, had some minor issues. The whole game was playable. So they already launched in a better state than Park Beyond. And funnily enough, let's see if it's still like this. I checked this months ago. I just want to show you guys this. Let's just find out. It could be different now. So Park Beyond had a user review rating of 62%. Planet Coaster has a user review of 60%, and this actually gone up. I think it was at like 50% or something. So it was almost mostly negative, right? People hated Planet Coaster 2 when it launched for whatever reason, but they like Park Beyond more. And this is where I kind of get mad at society and rage bait people, is that clearly Planet Coaster is more features, more functional, less bugs, more playable, has more everything. It's just clearly a better game than Park Beyond in all facets. But because people got their toys taken away from them or they didn't have the thing, they just wanted to get upset. This is an upset rating review, not an actual review. These are actual reviews right here. Because Park Beyond, if you really do think it's the better game, then why aren't you playing it? Right? Why aren't you watching my videos on it? Because people like Planet Coaster 2 more. So give it the review that you think it deserves. Anyways, point is, all these bug fixes, features, and updates definitely gets it one step closer to it getting the rating that it deserves, that I think it deserves. We're almost there, right? Next couple updates, game should be exactly where we all want it to be, and now we're just hoping for more packs, more DLC, and we could just kind of continue forward from there. But again, as you can see from my videos, my contests, and everything that we do here at Channel 5 Gaming, the game is fun, and we're all having a good time. This just makes it better. So, good job, Frontier. I know I give you a hard time once in a while, but I also give credit where credit is due, and I think you guys are doing a fantastic job over there. So, well done. That's going to conclude it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in tomorrow's Flume Contest video. Bye now.